Hey y'all, this is Repetitions with Trip and Jack. We help you explore the newest creative tools and examine craft versus slop. It's time to level up and get to work. Today we are talking about we're putting VO3 and Sora 2 head-to-head in a provisional matchup to see which one can nail a 30-second commercial spot for a fictional running shoe.
Which AI video tool actually ships a 30-second running shoe commercial this week and survives a creative director review, not just an X repost?
My honest bias going in was Sora. The filmic look, the storyboard mode, the way it handles motion, I'd seen enough cuts that felt like they came from a real DP. I thought VO was the Google product that Google told everyone to care about. Then I pulled up the brief, and the first thing I read was that the Sora app shut down 11 days ago.
Which changes the shape of the question pretty fast. The Sora API runs until late September, so there are still teams with integration who could technically ship on it this week. But the framing is now one active shipping tool against a product on a deprecation clock. That's the actual comparison we're running.
So let's run it anyway, because the craft comparison is still real, and the answer matters for any team deciding where to build their motion stack right now.
VO 3.1. Technically VO 3.1 with a fast variant and a light tier priced at roughly a tenth of standard. Built by Google DeepMind, accessed through the Gemini API, Vertex AI, and Google's Flow filmmaking tool. The current version added native audio generation, stronger prompt adherence, vertical video, and identity consistency across scene changes. As of early April, it went free for all Google account holders inside Google Vids. Enterprise signal is real. Promise Studios runs it for director-driven previs. Volley uses it for cinematic asset generation in their AI RPG. This is a tool with actual production mileage.
And Sora 2 launched last fall as OpenAI's flagship video plus audio model. Cinematic motion, synchronized dialogue, text in frame, a storyboard mode, clips up to around 20 seconds. It ranked well when it was running. Artificial analysis had it in contention on the leaderboard. The working pro perception was that it had the better filmic eye and the cleaner narrative workflow. Then, reported reasons around compute cost and a refocus on enterprise, it got discontinued.
The AI Magic comparison piece that ran 3 weeks before the shutdown date just said it plainly. Do not invest heavily in Sora 2 workflows. Migrate to VO 3.1 or Kling 3.0 now. Written before the date was confirmed. Turns out, that was the correct read.
Okay, the test. A 30-second spot for a fictional running shoe. Product hero shots, a runner in motion, brand feel cinematography, tagline or logo on screen, usable sound. Agency grade means it survives a CD review, not just a nice-looking GIF. I ran VO 3.1 first. The product hero shots landed. The brief describes VO as crisp and advertising grade on materials and controlled lighting. That's accurate. Mesh upper, sole detail, the lace geometry under clean studio-adjacent light. That's the shot a shoe client actually needs. And VO rendered it without significant rerolls.
And the identity consistency piece matters for a 30-second spot because you need the same runner in 3 different locations: track, street, trail. A May update specifically improved this. What used to be a reroll lottery is now a realistic single-build ask. That's a structural change to the workflow, not just a quality improvement.
The audio surprised me. Footstep impacts, breath cadence, ambient road texture, all generated in clip. That's a full sound design pass you can skip, or at least defer. The caveat is that first-pass audio matching is around 25% of generations. Complex audio scenes take 3 to 5 rerolls. In a live CD review, that's friction. For a spot you're building on your own schedule, it's manageable. Where VO showed strain was on sustained camera moves. An 8-second continuous tracking shot of the runner is where the model starts fighting you. And there's no alpha channel, which Chase Jarvis flagged specifically. If the brief calls for the runner comped over a graphic background, you're rotoscoping or rebuilding the shot. The metered API pricing also punishes exploratory prompting, which is how creative directors actually work. And false content policy flags on athletic imagery with bodies in motion. Real workflow tax on a sports spot.
Sora 2, when it was running, and it was running well enough to have real defenders, had a genuinely different profile. The filmic look is softer, more cinematic. For the lifestyle beats of a shoe spot, the sunrise run, the slow-motion stride, it had an emotional register that Vio's crisper output doesn't always match. The storyboard mode let you define the full 30 seconds as a sequence inside the tool, rather than assembling cuts. For narrative-driven commercial work, that was the cleaner path.
The text in frame was also better. Tagline rendering, on-screen type. Vio has historically been weaker there. And the spatial audio work was genuinely competitive. Tom's Guide ran a structured 7-prompt audio test and framed both tools as legitimately modeling acoustic environments, with Sora strong on spatial realism.
But there are hard stops. No image to video from a real photo of a runner. Sora 2 Pro can't do this. Vio handles it. CAA and WME went on record that Sora exposes their clients and their intellectual property to significant risk. Brand Legal will not sign off on Sora-generated footage of anything resembling a real athlete or a competing brand. For a shoe spot that wants to suggest a known athlete's stride, that's not a creative note. That's a legal block.
The capability comparison is real. Sora wins on filmic feel, on-screen type, and on its storyboard workflow. Vio wins on product material realism, multi-scene identity continuity, image-to-video from real product photography, and native audio as a workflow stage rather than a post step. That's a genuine craft split. On a pure capability axis, there's a version of this where Sora stays competitive for the emotional half of the spot.
But shippability is where it collapses. If you have no existing API integration, you cannot start a Sora 2 spot today and deliver it on a deprecated platform. And if you do have API access, you're building something your client will want to extend or iterate in 6 months on a tool with a known shutdown date. No rational producer puts a campaign there.
And the pricing change on the Vio side shifted the experiment cost. Vio Lite at around 1/10 of standard tier, free Vio 3.1 inside Google Vids, that's a different calculus for a team that wants to run 50 variations before locking a treatment.
Now, both of them hit the same wall on craft. The slop line for a running shoe spot is consistent regardless of which tool you're running. Hands on the shoe. Lace tying, fingertip on mesh, both models fail in close-up, or you're burning rerolls. A working creative either avoids that shot category or composites a real hand over it. Logo accuracy is off the table entirely. Neither tool renders a fictional brand mark consistently across scenes. That's a post graphic. Full stop.
Sustained motion past 6 to 8 seconds degrades on both. Agency-grade motion means you're cutting more, not letting a single shot run. Foot strike physics, the exact ground contact, compression, dust kick. That's where the synthetic origin shows, and slow motion makes it worse. The frame where a creative director pauses the scrub is usually that frame.
Native audio from Vio sounds right at first listen and reveals seams under headphones. A working sound designer still needs a pass on the final mix. AI ships convincing 2 to 4 second beats. Anything longer, anything closer, anything a CD scrubs frame by frame, that's where the human makes the call. Both tools are at that line right now.
For shipping a 30-second running shoe commercial this week, Vio 3.1 wins. And I want to be honest that it's mostly the calendar, not the craft gap. On a pure capability read, this is close. Sora had the filmic edge and the better narrative workflow. That was a real fight. But the Sora app shut down 11 days ago. The API sunsets in September. No rational producer starts a branded campaign on that stack today. And on the capability axes that matter most for this specific test, product material realism, multi-scene identity continuity, image to video from real product photography, native audio that collapses a post stage, Vio 3.1 wins those cleanly.
The trade-offs are real. No alpha channel is a genuine VFX limitation. Metered pricing punishes the exploratory prompting that's actually how creative directors work. False content flags on athletic imagery are friction you didn't budget for. A team with existing Sora API integration and a finished plate could still deliver this week on Sora 2. That window exists until September.
But the question was, which tool ships agency-grade motion this week? That answer is VO 3.1.
The sharper takeaway for anyone building a motion stack right now, the question Chase Jarvis put precisely is the right one. It's no longer who generates the best pixels. It's who integrates those pixels into an NLE pipeline and survives a production review. VO 3.1 is close on pipeline. It's not there yet. The alpha channel gap is real. But it's the tool that's actually on.
No one has surfaced a good working pro account of what the Sora shutdown is actually doing to active productions. Teams are mid-campaign, mid-workflow. That story hasn't fully come out yet. When it does, that's the episode that tells you where the real migration costs landed.
And that's our show. Thanks for listening to Repetitions. If you liked the podcast, please rate it 5 stars, tap the follow button, and share it with your friends. See you next week.
Grab news. Thomas.